What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Canon R versus the newer Canon R8. Which one's better? Which one should you buy? So I'm going to do this little comparison video. So let's jump into it. So I first want to say that the Canon R8 is 5 years newer than the Canon R, and it's definitely the smaller of the two cameras, with the Canon R8 coming in at 461 grams versus the Canon R, which is 580 grams. It's pretty much like 100 grams. You do feel it in your hands, as well as the Canon R8 is the smaller camera. It's more comparable to Canon RP. If you do shoot any video at all, I definitely would suggest you just picking up the Canon R8 because it does full frame 4K, as well as a bunch of different frame rates and 1080 at up to 180 frames per second. The Canon R, on the other hand, does cropped 4K. Yes, it does work, but it's not really comparable if you do want to say, vlog yourself. The Canon R8 also has C-Log and C-Log 3. Yes, the Canon R does have C-Log, but it doesn't come with C-Log 3. And this is just ideal for trying to get the most dynamic range from your shots. The Canon R does win the megapixel count, with it coming in at 30 megapixels, with the Canon R8 coming in at 24 megapixels. So it's going to give you the ability to crop in or print larger photos. Talking about the low light, they're very similar in this aspect. Let me get this right. They both go from 100 to 102,400, but the Canon R does pull ahead, expandable, allowing you to go up to 204,800. So with that being said, the Canon R is going to be better in low light. It's going to be able to capture more with the sensor being more sensitive, but realistically, I don't think I've ever pushed any of my cameras to this extent. The photos are going to be extremely, extremely grainy, but that's not to say that, in a pinch, you could use it. If we're talking about frames per second, the Canon R definitely wins this one with the ability to shoot up to 40 frames a second. The Canon R also allows you to shoot up to 8 frames a second compared to the 6 regularly on the Canon R8. The Canon R8 definitely wins with the 40 frames a second shooting burst mode. The Canon R uses the LPE6 battery, which is the larger of the two. The Canon R8 uses the LPE17 battery, which is also used on the RP. And personally, I don't really like this battery. It's kind of small. I found myself having to constantly switch it out, where the Canon R battery, I would take 2 with me on a full day shoot and be perfectly fine. But if you are picking up the Canon R8, I would suggest you, pick up 3 to 4 of these batteries and you should be fine. As well as the cameras have the ability to plug in using a USB-C and a battery bank or straight into the wall, and you can charge the camera while shooting, which is definitely ideal. So both cameras don't come with IBIS, but they do have digital IS built in, and I find these perfectly fine for the most part. Yes, it would be ideal if you did have IBIS. Both cameras have dual pixel autofocus, and I absolutely love this. You can shoot cars, people, has eye tracking, face tracking, pretty much anything that you're gonna want to shoot. These cameras are very similar in price, with the Canon R coming in at $1,400 US, or the Canon R8 coming in at $1,500 US, just $100 price difference. But I would suggest you can find the Canon R used or on certain sales, and you're gonna get a bigger price savings. So I would definitely look into that. If you are planning to pick up a Canon R, I would suggest you looking at the used market, and you can definitely save, a bag of money that way. You don't have that option with the Canon R because it's brand new. Overall, I definitely think that both these cameras are absolutely amazing. If you're just shooting photos with no video, you can look at the Canon R and save yourself some money. But if you are shooting any video at all, I definitely would suggest you pick up the Canon R8. It's $100 difference, brand new. If you are planning to buy a new camera, don't even look at the Canon R, just pick up the Canon R8, because the video features and all the little perks that you're gonna get, well worth the $100 that you're gonna save, as well as the video side of things. It's absolutely amazing. As I always suggest, if you are picking up a camera, go to the store, try to play around with it, especially especially the Canon R8, because it is a smaller camera, it might not feel comfortable in your hands. So I definitely suggest you, pick it up, play with it a little bit before you purchase. That's all I have for this video. If you did like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It does help. And until the next video, peace.